There are roughly 16,000 vulnerable migrants in Tijuana waiting to enter the U.S. once Title 42 is lifted. We're 11 days from the official end of Title 42, but Tijuana officials don't know how the U.S. plans to process all those people. No one from the federal government has shared their plans with Tijuana.
Sí tenemos un plan en mente.
That's Enrique Lucero. He's head of Tijuana's Migrant Affairs Department. He says Tijuana has a rough plan of what to do on May 11th, but a lot of it depends on logistical questions like how many people will be allowed to cross the border and where. Right now, Lucero doesn't have those answers. He's preparing for the worst.
Se van a salir los migrantes de los albergues y se van a querer formar a la garita.
On May 11th, he expects thousands of migrants to leave their shelters and form a long line outside the port of entry.
Se van a quedar allí.
They will eat there, they will sleep there, they will live there. Lucero says that if the U.S. only allows a couple of hundred migrants to enter the country each day, it will be chaos at the border. Tijuana's migrant shelters are already at capacity, and they expect even more people to come to the border once Title 42 is lifted.
Basically, we're getting prepared, we're constructing to be able to receive more people.
Pastor Albert Rivera runs the Agape Migrant Shelter in Tijuana.
We do know that a lot more immigrants are going to come now that Title 42 is going to be taken away.
About 650 men, women, and children live in the shelter. The kids play soccer all day while their parents cook and get ready for a shot at asylum in the U.S. Rivera says most migrants think that their journey is over once they enter the U.S., but that won't be the case. More than half of all asylum claims are denied, according to federal data. So he's trying to help get them ready to fight their immigration cases in court.
We focus on evidence, documentation, help them with all that. So we tell them, okay, you want to do the things legally, you want to win your case and everything. Focus on the evidence and everything. Be a little bit patient.
Once Title 42 is lifted, migrants will go through the expedited removal process. Under expedited removals, migrants will be given a credible fear interview. Those who pass are allowed to pursue asylum claims. Those who fail are deported.
The Biden administration has said it's going to be surging asylum officers and other resources down to the border to carry out these interviews.
Aaron Reichlin-Melnick is policy director at the American Immigration Council, a pro-immigration think tank. He's been following the Biden administration's transition away from Title 42. He says part of the plan is for Latin American countries to stop migrants from reaching the border in the first place. So U.S. officials will open processing centers in Colombia and Guatemala. These are places that migrants can go to see if they're eligible for asylum in the U.S. without having to come all the way to the border. But one major question remains.
For the ports of entry, the big question is what things are going to look like once Title 42 lifts.
Title 42 essentially shut down the asylum process for 3 years. Migrants haven't been able to walk up to the border and request humanitarian protection since March 2020.
That means that asylum seekers really don't know what the situation is going to look like after Title 42 is over on May 11th. And crucially, the U.S. government hasn't indicated what they're going to do either.
KPBS plans to be at the border on May 11th to find out exactly what happens. Gustavo Solis, KPBS News.